guys. It was a good run. Because right now, if I'm a Lions fan, I'm a little bit nervous. Hey everybody, I'm Cortez and I'm a critic, and welcome. We are talking about the Detroit Lions and their 2025 season preview. So before we get into what happened, or what's going to happen, or what I think may happen, just have to address Detroit. You have way more capital than Green Bay. How come you didn't trade for Micah Parsons? I mean, you had the money, you had the capital, and I think Micah would have been happier to play in the Dome. I mean, he played in the Dome for Dallas. I think he would have been happier. And not to mention, you had a proven Hurricane and Hutchinson on the other side. So I don't know. I just, one of those weird things. I mean, Washington also had capital, but I think Dallas was not that crazy to trade in division. But in conference, definitely. So yeah, Detroit, don't know why, but doesn't matter now. Let's talk about you. The Lions. It seems like everybody got new toys, new coaches, new things. Everyone looks a little bit shiny, a little bit better, a little bit more focused. And Lions, it was a good run. It was a good run, but I think you're no longer the guy right now. I mean, you're still the guy until proven otherwise, but no one is saying so. Is Detroit for sure. I think it's maybe Detroit this year too. Just saying. But the 3 games to watch for Detroit fans definitely will be Week 6 at Kansas City. Yes, it is a non-conference game. It's on the road. But like they always say, you want to prove a good litmus test after an early part of the season. Going to Kansas City and beating the Chiefs on their home turf, it might be a good statement game. Prove to everyone else back in the NFC saying, we went to Arrowhead and took down the Chiefs. What? It's a nice little good, prove it that say, hey, we can take on the big guys. We can take on the big boys. What about you? And then after that, you come home to Tampa Bay. Yes, the Buccaneers, because let's be real. There's a good chance that you might play this team again in the playoffs. And let's be real, Tampa is reminding the days of the good old NFC Central days when the Lions and the Bucs play each other twice a year. And it's like, wow, the Buccaneers. They're like the cousin you just rediscovered. Now they won't leave you alone. And the game is at home, and that was basically the only loss you guys had until the Buffalo game. So I'm sure you guys want a little payback for that one. But more than likely, you want to make sure your playoff positioning is solidified. So in case you guys are in a tiebreaker situation, you guys go to Ford and not go to Tampa Bay. And then Week 15 at Los Angeles. The season's coming to an end. You definitely want to find a way to make yourself, secure that division and secure that 1 seed, or at best case, secure a playoff spot and a higher position and home field advantage. You got to go to Los Angeles and make sure the Rams have nothing to say to that. So definitely want to make sure the Rams game, and definitely toward the end of the season, you want to go into the season hot and not lukewarm, or worst case, ice cold. All right. But what do I see, you guys? Highest point, 13-4. Yes, the offense is still legit. And if injuries do not plague the 90% of the Lions, that's going to help solidify that 13-win season. Those 4 losses, honestly, could easily become from Packers, Bears, Lions, teams from your own conference. I think those 4 losses will literally be on NFC side. I don't see the Lions losing to the AFC side. But if they do, then there you go. But I think I'm going to say 3 of those 4 losses are in their own division. I'm going to say that. Now, I'm not saying that everyone's going to get a win. One team might sweep you. And the lowest point, 10 wins. This team is too good not to have at least 10 wins. Honestly, I'll probably say as low as 11 wins. Like, 10-7 is basically if you guys secure the playoff spot and you don't have to play and then you lose the last game. That will lead to, a 10-7 season instead of a 11-6 season. That's where I'm saying. That's what I'm saying anyway. So to me, that is the lowest point. Detroit's still a 10-plus win team this year. I don't see a letdown that dramatic, even though they did lose their offense and defensive coordinators. I do understand that, but I just don't see it being that massive of a loss like that. MVP candidate, I'm giving it to Aiden Hutchinson. I know with Jared Goff, Gibbs, and others, Amani St. Brown is definitely obviously, but Aiden Hutchinson's absence was so significant. Even when the line were dominating offensively, there was still that notion of we're not going to play against the lower less teams in the playoffs. And we definitely need at least some disruptor on the defensive side. That's not a 6th-round pick from 4 different teams coming in just to fill a spot. So to me, if the Lions won't have to get any chance to go beyond than what they were originally predicted as, playoff-bound team, maybe number 1 seed, whatever, Aiden Hutchinson is going to be the disruptor. He is going to be the one that's going to literally take over the offensive line and is going to make that defense better because his presence in the backfield is going to cripple quarterback play. Could you imagine how much impact Hutchinson would have been if he was able to sack or go after Jaden Daniels in the playoffs? His presence is going to be wonderfully utilized against teams like Hurts, Baker, Stafford, Daniels, and others, whoever, and Love in the playoffs. Definitely need him. And verdict for the Lions, Super Bowl. We've been saying it for almost 2 years now. I think we got to keep saying it until they prove us otherwise. Detroit reminds me of the Cowboys of the 90s, honestly. They got the pieces there, they got the coach there, everything's there, and they don't have the drama behind the scene problem, thank goodness. So, to me, Detroit just has this blue-collar, take-your-lunch-pail-to-work type attitude, and I think if they do it, it's going to be because of their work ethic together, not the individual stars showing out their worth. That's how I view it anyway. And that's the Lions. Verdict, Super Bowl. All right, next we're going to talk about the team that went from 14 wins and then no-no-nos, and now they have a whole new quarterback in the Minnesota Vikings. As we talk about and see what they can do and see what can they do? They are in a major question mark. So until then, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic. Thank you so very much for watching.